Well, I'm back at Pueblo Motorsports Park for yet another track day in the G37. Since the last track day, I've done pretty much nothing to the car. And by nothing, I mean I cut the rear brake dust shields, topped off the transmission fluid, and added some heat tape to the inside of the airboxes. Now, for the first session, I'll be just getting reacclimated to being on track, since it has been over a month from my previous track day. So for the first session, I'll just be getting the brakes and tires up to temp along with the fluids, and get used to having to hang off the edge of my seat again. As you could see, around the third or fourth lap of my first session, my phone mount ended up falling off because I did not give it enough pumps. And since it ended up falling into the passenger side of the car, I'll need to go into the paddock to re-secure it to my windshield. Now, with me back on the track, I can finally start to get some push laps in. But there was unfortunately a car stuck on the front straight, which brought out the yellow flag. And the rest of my laps that session had a decent amount of traffic, which was quite unfortunate. Now, I did end up getting one clean lap in, but unfortunately, I made a pretty large mistake going into turn 6, which ended up ruining the lap. And after that, I ended up doing 2 cooldown laps and ended up heading in to end the session. Now it's time for my second session, and during the second session I almost had 3 full push laps, but made a mistake on the second lap. And rather unfortunately, by the end of my second push lap, the transmission decided not to downshift going into turn 10, despite me using the paddle shifters. And when looking at the data logs, the transmission temp was over 190 degrees, which doesn't seem to be too hot nor too cold. So it seems that the car can only handle 2 to 3 push laps during a session before the transmission decides to throw a hissy fit. Now, the third session of the day ended up giving me some very useful information about the transmission issue. I found a small workaround in which I just need to tap the down pedal a second time if the transmission doesn't go down a gear. While I'm not 100% sure what is causing this issue, if it is either a electrical or a fluid issue, I can at least use this to get around during my track sessions. In the 5th session of the day, I was able to put down a 57.5 on my first lap, and on the second, I was able to put down a 56.5, which was my fastest time of the day and my new personal best. Now, for the 6th and final session of the day, I decided to use an in-helmet POV camera with an Insta360 Go 2, and I used the most dignified mount ever made in human history. A zip tie stuck between the padding of my helmet and wrapped around the Go 2 camera. To wrap up my 6th session, I ended up getting caught in some traffic on my second lap, so I only ended up managing a 57.6 on my first lap and a 2:02 on my second. But, as an overall, it was a great day, since I was able to take 5 seconds off my previous best time. And on top of that, I was able to push the braking zones farther and got way more comfortable with being near the limit of grip. Just like the last video, I'll end up finishing off this video with showing the full lap of my new personal best. And thank you to anyone who is still watching. Originally this video was going to have a second track day included on it, since I did 2 on this particular weekend. But I feel that could diminish the quality of the overall video, so I cut it into 2 and the second part should be out soon. So keep your heads out for it and have a great day.